senior coordinators takes her turn. Like many of our other senior communities, Market Woods offers a high quality, safe, clean, well-maintained, no boundaries apartments with affordable rents, which sometimes are at least half of market rents. We offer 1 and 2 bedroom apartments at Market Woods, where a selected group of these are intentionally designed to be totally accessible for the handicapped. All our units have wider hallways and door frames to allow residents with mobility issues to move around freely and enjoy their home. In the accessible units, kitchens and bathrooms counters do not have cabinets under the sink, so residents in wheelchairs can securely conduct their chores. And finally, yet importantly, these units have a rolling shower, minimizing the risk for falls. Did you know that falls are the leading cause of injury and death among the elderly? Another benefit in our units is the nurse call system. These are monitored 24/7 by a third-party agency who handles the call, dispatching an ambulance to their address and assisting them with any particular need they might have. Another important trait for BHC is that we focus on maintaining our assets, and a hefty portion of our budget goes towards maintaining a fully staffed property with manager and maintenance techs to tackle our residents' needs, including a 24-hour maintenance schedule. Furthermore, as part of our commitment to offer the best environment and understanding the adverse reaction of social isolation with our residents, we try to keep them busy. Before COVID, we used to plan activities like bingos and crafting. We did cookouts, we planned a Super Bowl showing, and we also, as Sarah mentioned, participate in National Night Out. We're proud to say that the Winchester community, we are winners 3 times out of 4 for the Chesterfield Trophy of Best National Night Out event. Last December, one of the markets, we celebrated the holidays with a kids choir concert. And in another market square, residents danced for hours to the beat of a DJ, pretending to be on the next audition to the famous show Soul Train. We had a lot of fun. The need for affordable housing is a reality, and especially for our elderly. A few fortunate RVA residents might not need the help that BHC offers, but rest assured that Ms. Linda Woody does. Ms. Linda has been a resident of our community since 2008. She first became a resident at Market Square, lived there 10 years, and in 2018 moved to Claiborne, our property in Petersburg. Now she's back in Chesterfield as one of the first residents to move into Market Woods. A fun fact is that her son is a Secret Service agent working for a big shot in DC. And he told me he is very grateful to what BHC is offering. He was pleasantly surprised when he finally set foot at Market Woods while helping his mom with the move. We had previously sent him the virtual tour we use with all those interested, but his comment to us was, "This place is even more beautiful in person." These post-COVID times have been very challenging, especially when trying to make our elderly prospects draw interest to our community. Can you imagine your mom or your grandma, who is not familiar with computers, engaging in a virtual tour and making one of her biggest decisions of moving to a rental place? That is very difficult. They like to see, to smell, to touch. They like to use all the senses and not a virtual tour to decide where they're going to live at. But thankfully for the BHC staff members, they are amazing. And we've been working diligently on having Market Woods fully occupied by the end of the year. We are very excited that this is going to happen. So if you or anybody you know is interested, please give us a call. We have still some apartments left. Now I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Mr. Tim Klobundi, Director of Marketing for Timmons Group. Tim and his team got excited about our community and were kind enough to produce a special video, which you will see shortly. We are all very grateful for their partnership on this and many other BAC projects. So thank you and welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Virginia. And I got to tell you, we are genuinely excited to be a part of Market Woods, this phase of Market Woods. I do want to call out one person, which is Sean Smith, who's on the call with us right now. He actually is my partner who took the lead on this particular project. I know he is equally excited about this, just the opportunity to make such an impact and such a difference in Richmond. Now, Sarah, you referenced at the beginning the bingo card. So I have my bingo card up, and I was looking on there of all the options of different things that I could help people out with their bingo card. And we're about to show a video, so I'm a little bit concerned about technical difficulties. I'm a little bit concerned about screens freezing, but I'm going to go with the idea that that none of those things are going to happen. But I will say that we at Timmons Group love BHC, and so we are so happy to have been working on this. And hopefully, for all those with you with the bingo card, I had it on my piece that someone had to say, "Love you, BHC." So there you go. If you have your bingo card up, I'm hoping I'm helping somebody get to where they need to get. That said, a lot of you on this call know that for 14 years now, Timmons Group has been on-site celebrating properties around Richmond through an event that we call Commercial Coffee. And basically, it's a chance where we showcase only one type of project, which is projects that we believe are genuinely making a difference and changing the face of Richmond. And I got to tell you, I received a call from Sarah about this, and about going on site for this special day. And I was genuinely excited about that conversation because I, in my heart, truly know that this is the type of project that changes the face of Richmond. It changes the face of not just that, it changes the face of people's lives. And that's one of the reasons that we are so happy to be a partner with the Better Housing Coalition. That said, we've met on site. You're going to get to see the video in just a second, but I know John Bolton, you're on the call, VP of Real Estate. We met with John, we met with Kelly, who's the assistant property manager on site. Got to really chat and talk a lot about the actual property itself. But I will tell you that my favorite part, which will be in the clip in a moment, is getting to sit with a longtime resident. Actually, I believe you're on the call right now, and film the actual ribbon cutting as well. So thank you just for the opportunity to partner with all of you on this call. We have so many friends that are involved in this call right now. I'll say this though, which is, I think Kelly, you said it best during our conversation that you're going to hear momentarily, and that's that Market Woods sets an example for Richmond. And I can't tell you enough how much we at Timmons Group completely reflect that this type of project really sets an example for where we want to go. So congratulations to all of you. And Sarah, I will let you click play, and hopefully we won't have either two of those other boxes checked on the bingo cards, but thank you.
Welcome to a special edition of Commercial Coffee. I'm Tim Klobundi with Timmons Group, and we are on site at Market Square, Better Housing Coalition's latest and greatest project. I'm looking forward to introducing you to a couple of new friends and showing you around the project.
So this development started back in 2018. We applied for the Affordable Housing Tax Credits from VHDA, were awarded, went through our permitting process, assembling of our development team, and we closed in June of 2019. And it took just about a year, maybe a year and a month of construction. So excellent team that were able to pull that off, especially with the last 6 months or so being in the COVID environment. But overall, the team worked really well to deliver the project on time and on budget.
So our senior community is age restricted for 55 and over on Market Woods and our Market Square communities. It is 60 units in this community, and the first floor is wheelchair accessible units. I've been very excited to have this open because this is our newest construction community for affordable living, and it's great for being able to have quality housing for affordable, and all kinds of incomes are welcome. So this building fits perfectly for being able to be an example for Richmond. Just because you have a low income or middle income doesn't mean that you can't have a quality home.
Thank you again, Tim. That was so nice, and love seeing the ribbon cutting at the end. So now we're going to kick it over to John Bolton, VP of Real Estate Development.
All right, thank you, Sarah, and good morning, everybody. Glad to see a lot of familiar faces and folks I haven't met before, but it's exciting to see so many people interested in this new development. And thank you, Tim, for that video. And I have to agree, watching the resident cut the ribbon there in the end, that really does put the cap on many years long process to get to this point. So thank you for that great video. First, we'd like to thank our internal team. Our development team consists of Lee Alford, who's the director of multifamily development. We also have Maria Tabacci, a new associate that came on probably 1 or 2 weeks right before we closed the office earlier this year, and has been instrumental in helping keep up with a lot of the reporting and compliance through the end of construction. And Tiffany Person, our director of single family, who also has a great deal of multifamily rental experience and provided a lot of great input that informed us on the design for the development. And can't forget our VP of Planning, Lynn McAteer, who's super instrumental in so many ways and supports the development team all around. So thank you to our internal group that helped bring this together. And I want to start out first with the financing. When we started looking at this project, we had the adjacent existing Market Square 1 and 2, which is 105 apartment homes, which was over 15 years, which made it eligible to be refinanced and rehabilitated. We looked at the options for going back for tax credits, and Virginia Housing had come up with a new program where you can combine competitive tax credits, which are often difficult to get, with non-competitive tax credits. And so we looked at the two. We had this adjacent land that was originally planned as a grocery store site at the beginning of Winchester Greens. And it sat vacant through all these years. The market never, made it out to where a grocery store would fit on this site. And so we thought about adding a new senior development. But as it is, new construction, senior housing does not score very well. But with this new program through Virginia Housing, it allowed for us to do a competitive tax credit application for Market Woods while doing a non-competitive application to rehabilitate 105 apartment homes. So that goes to our values and keeping up what we own and manage for the long term, but while also delivering more units to serve the community. So that was an excellent way that we put this deal together. As you see on the screen here, our capital stack is pretty deep. I can't think of too many other deals that Better Housing Coalition has done that has this many sources on here. I would be remiss if I also didn't mention a former employee. His name is Phil Cunningham, who's now with Virginia Housing. I called him the grant whisperer, and he was instrumental in applying and being rewarded a lot of these grants here. So thank you, Phil, as well. But not all deals go this deep. Not all deals apply for this subsidy. We could be competitive without it. We could probably score a deal, but we believe, you know, an affordable community is more than just 85% brick and 749 square foot community space, which, for example, are some of the competitive traits on a deal. But we believe quality housing needs more, and our residents deserve more. And you're going to hear a lot more of that later. Virginia had mentioned some of the features, and Better Housing Coalition management team is going to talk about you know, a lot of the features that are on this deal. I'll leave that for them, but that is what this extra source goes to, and certainly want to thank them. Our development partners, that's pretty deep too. A lot of these we've worked with before, and there's some new faces. I could probably take time and come up with a story for each one of them on here, but we don't have a whole lot of time. But I certainly wanted to you know, show everybody that that had an instrumental play in developing this project. As mentioned before by Virginia, we had COVID hit probably almost mid-construction on this project. Urban Core, our general contractor, responded immediately with protocols on site. For example, they, you know, took their weekly meetings and did them outside, socially distanced. You know, of course, made face masks mandatory. And for the most part, we haven't had too many material delays getting to, you know, certificate of occupancy and being able to lease up. Really, the only lasting legacy of delays we have is refrigerators. For folks out there in development and seeing what's happening out there, our permanent refrigerators were and are still delayed. So we've had to go in and put in temporary refrigerators until those come in. But for the most part, dealing in the COVID environment, that has worked out well. Want to also mention our green certification through Viridian with Earthcraft Gold. Earthcraft Gold means more. You know, it is high efficiency through the appliances, the HVAC, the fixtures that you use, but it's also, you know, bigger than that in terms of diverting waste away from the landfills, using low emission products so that the air quality within the building is as good as it can be. So really proud to again deliver another Earthcraft you know, gold building on this one. So if we can jump to the next slide here. All right, and I just want to kind of show you a few development highlights. Again, this doesn't look like a very pretty picture, and this is an example of when things don't go right. We had just started building up the building pad for the development. We had gone through a long process with Timmons Group and Urban Core to develop a plan to deal with some unsuitable soils. But you'll notice right in the middle of your screen, there's a manhole. For those that remember the original use, this was the Park Lee, you know, apartment complex. And when that got demolished, this is a section of road that got abandoned and it left a manhole in it. Nobody knew it was there. And so we discovered that mid-process. We were able to deal with it very quickly and come up with a plan. And there's several other of these, but the main takeaway is that that our team throughout the entire process, from this manhole all the way to the finish line, dealt with you know, issues in a respectful and timely manner. And again, you know, we heard earlier that everything was within budget. So it's a testimony to a great team that we put together. Here, this is the you know, the early morning pour of a slab. I know for site superintendents out there, this is a big day. This culminates quite a bit of work that has gone in. You noticed all the piping coming up. This represents, you know, going from one phase to another. So it's always an exciting time on a job when you get to this point. I just thought that was a really great picture. The sunrise coming up and the building about ready to take shape. And here's just this is just a small example. You'll notice the yellow tubing coming in there. This was, you know, fresh air that the contractor was using during construction. Better Housing Coalition, we didn't put this in our general requirements and conditions for the contractor to do, but as a responsible contractor and looking out for the, you know, the health and safety and, you know, protecting the asset on site that had been built to date with all the wood that's exposed and still open to the elements. These were some of this is just the little things that it takes to make a project successful. And that was the purpose of this photo. This is actually looking out into the community room, which a lot of our backgrounds, including mine, are displaying on the screen right now. And here's just another photo, another sunrise. The building just about complete there on the left. And I thought that was just a really great looking picture. On the right, to the top of the picture, you'll see this was another great work by Timmons Group and Sean Smith, where we had a lot of extra topsoil on site. And for those that can visit out to the site, we developed a walking trail, and there's a mound in the middle. And that mound has purpose. It was used to store, additional topsoil, but it all helped in creating a nice enclosed amenity feature out there. And to the bottom left, you see that open, area of water, which is now underground detention. So we repurposed what was just an open grassy field, and it made a perfect location to do underground stormwater detention. Which today, if you went out, it's just a patch of grass for passive, walking and recreation for the residents. And here's the main thing, and handing off to property management. They've been doing an exceptional job with lease up. We started coordinating early on, and there's never enough and never early enough coordination that we can do together. But I want to thank, all of our team. I included my internal, team earlier, but really the entire, staff at Better Housing Coalition and all departments that have touched this have done an exceptional job to work through this environment and getting the project together. We learn lessons each time. We're going to learn lessons on this one on how to make an even more successful handoff next time. So certainly want to thank you all, and all the beautiful pictures that we saw there. I know I mentioned a couple partners, but one of our longest ones is Wink Snowa, and want to thank you all. I see Megan on here. I see Mark. Not sure if anybody else is on there, but you guys did a great job. Beautiful building. You're a long-term partner. And then we twinned with a new partner in Design Source that made all the beautiful interiors and the colors and the furniture that you see in this development. So again, I could go on and give you a story on each one of them, but I don't want to take more of my time on here. But you can see how proud we are and what it takes to bring a development together.
Thank you, John. And we couldn't have done it with such a beautiful product. Market Woods is like a jewel. It sits out, stands out. It doesn't mix with other market communities, but definitely it's shiny, it's beautiful, not only from the outside, but from the inside as well. So first of all, you mentioned that we are a tax credit. So with tax credit, it comes with some restrictions. So we are income and age restricted. So what does that mean? We are strictly for the elderly. Elderly starts at 55 years and old, and the income cannot exceed 60% of the median income of the area. So roughly will be $37,000 for one person, or $42,960 for two people. The rent at Market Woods start at $527, which is half of market rent, and they could go up to $862 for one bedroom, and the two bedroom rents range from $615 to $1,017. Again, still this is lower than a market rent for a two bedroom apartment. The average income of a BHC senior resident in our community is $15,250. Most of these residents, they are on a fixed income, either from Social Security or a pension. So they don't make more if they work. Some of them do work part-time, but most of them, they are on fixed income, and this is the income, $15,000. So please keep that in mind when we offer rents that are maybe $600, so they still have disposable income to do their daily livings. In terms of the average age at our community, we are currently at 70 years old. So that means, yes, we have a group that are 55, 60s, but we also have people in the 80s and in the 90s. So the average age of our resident is 70 years old. Market Woods has 60 apartments in a 3-level mid-rise building. We are located in what locals call the Pike, referring to the Jefferson Davis Highway. It's 1 mile south of where Route 1 meets Chippenham. And it's just 10 minutes drive to downtown Richmond. We are in the Winchester Greens campus, and residents, we've been asking for the bus for many, many years. GRTC was finally approved, and the bus line started early February of this year, right before COVID hit us. I remember the day that we were supposed to get the first ride. It was on the first week of March, and the week after that, the city closed down. So we're hoping that they are taking that into consideration and don't take the bus away, because we were really, really happy to finally have a bus line go through the property and goes to Chester and to Richmond. So our residents will have a lot of mobility within the Pike and going to Richmond if they have doctor's appointments and stuff. Our apartments are fully equipped with high efficiency side-by-side refrigerators, stove, and dishwashers. Units have central air system and electric water heaters. All of these, as John mentioned, are high efficiency. So what does that mean? This translates in lower utility bills to our residents who, as I mentioned, are on a fixed income. So they don't have to spend a lot of money, their money, in paying the electric bill. Access to our building is secure and operates with an electronic fob. All doors are programmed to work with this fob. Side doors, back doors, front door. Visitors need to contact the resident through an intercom that we have installed in the main door to the building, and they, and only they, could give access to their visitors. Once you're inside, we have a grand lobby featuring a sitting area, the elevator, and a business center with 2 computers and a printer to assist the residents with their computer needs. And did you know that the common areas of Market Woods were designed and decorated by a professional group? They are one of our partners in that list that John discussed with you. They did a great job, and it gives our building the feel and look of a fancy hotel. Our activity room has plenty of seating areas and is equipped with a microwave and a refrigerator for special gatherings. This room opens to our back patio, featuring ample seating to enjoy the fresh air. Parking is not a problem at Market Woods. We have over 50 spaces, and a third of those are handicap spaces, exceeding by far all ADA guidelines for parkings. Market Woods offers a trailing path that John discussed earlier, where our residents can exercise outdoors. And we also have a mini dog park where our 4-legged residents can also enjoy. Back inside, each of our 3 floors is color-coded to assist residents identifying in which floor they lived in. Additionally, we have laundry facilities in all 3 floors. A planned fact is that front load equipment is positioned in a way that doors open in opposite directions. Washers on the left open to the left, dryers on the right open to the right, to allow residents with reduced mobility and in wheelchairs to transfer clothes from washer to dryer with little effort. Our fully equipped fitness center offers a sitting stationary bike, a treadmill, and set of dumbbells and medicine balls for those who prefer to exercise indoors. If we did our job well, now you are more familiar with our new South of the River resident community in Jefferson Davis, just a few minutes south of Chippenham. We have fully accessible units that provide the resident with the rolling shower that you're seeing on the left, so they don't have to transfer, or they could just have the shower within that same seating area. And we have plenty of grab bars for our seniors, so again, to prevent the falls, which are one of the highest risk at that age. So now I would like to introduce you to Andrea Alston. She's the Senior Service Coordinator for Market Woods. She would offer more details on how important their services are to all our residents. So take it away, Andrea.
Thank you, Virginia. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Again, my name is Andrea Alston, and I am part of the community social work team at Market Woods. Today, I will give you some insight into the role of the community social work team, in addition to services we provide and why they are so important to our residents. And finally, some of the provision programs and recreational activities our residents have enjoyed within our community. So the overall role of the community social work team is to assist our residents with housing stability, as well as empower them to reach their fullest potential. As Virginia stated earlier, the average age of our residents is in their early 70s, and the residential support services we provide is essential in keeping our residents out of state-sponsored nursing homes. In doing so, we connect our residents to community resources in order to adhere to BHC's mission to promote aging in place. These resources include, but aren't limited to, assistance with subsidies such as rental, utilities, food insecurities, obtainment of medication and other items. We also have a partnership with Encompass Healthcare and InnovAge Virginia PACE to assist our residents with their healthcare and medical needs, such as medication management, specialty care, and in-home services. Although our community is independent senior housing, we have a large percentage of residents who are dealing with significant health difficulties. Having this partnership assists in the overall well-being of our community and individual resident. In addition, the annual income of our residents is between $14,000 and $17,000 a year, in which some of them are able to receive benefits through social services to alleviate housing expenses. The community social work team collaborates with residents who require assistance with the completion of applications such as Medicaid, food stamps, and other benefits. Currently, we are working to ensure our residents are ready to vote for this upcoming election, as well as gearing up to assist with fuel assistance applications this month. Not only do we build a rapport with our residents, some of whom, as you've seen, have been BHC residents for 20+ years, we communicate with support systems and our wonderful property management team to ensure residents continue to live independently and recognize those who require a higher level of care and assist in developing a long-term plan. As of 2019, the community social work team has provided direct services to 729 of our senior residents out of the 828 who live in our BHC community. And now for the fun stuff, the recreational activities and food provisions that they have enjoyed. Pre-COVID, our residents enjoyed the Friendship Cafe through Senior Connections, YWCA's Aging Strong Fitness Program, Friday movie nights, holiday celebrations, and our monthly birthday parties, which provided our residents with recreational activities and a way to interact with others within the senior community. Our residents also enjoyed food provision programs to include the grain program and Feed More. As of today, Shalom Farms is still providing services to residents every Friday through their mobile market program, which brings affordable and fresh produce to our community. In addition, although Friendship Cafe is closed currently, they are still providing our member residents with hot meals each Wednesday. Unfortunately, during this time of COVID, many of our residents are dealing with social isolation. They are dealing with the difficulty of not being around family members as much, as well as not having staff physically present on a daily basis. Currently, keeping our residents safe and healthy is our top priority. We are working remotely to reduce COVID risk in our communities, but our staff are in regular phone contact with residents to check on their well-being and assist with most needs via phone or internet. We are also happy our residents still receive the benefit of some provisions and philanthropic support, but we do look forward to returning to our normal operations and in-person resident services once it is safe to do so. And now Stacy Burchett, VP of External Affairs, will facilitate our questions and answers session.
Thanks, Andrea, and I'm so glad you all are with us today. If you have some questions, we have a couple that have already been submitted. If you have any other questions that weren't covered by the presentation, or you're just curious about what's going on at BHC, go ahead and put those in the chat and we'll get to them. I think this may have already been, I think Virginia may have covered this, but one of the first questions was where specifically is Market Woods located? So Virginia, could you go ahead and talk a little bit about specifically where that is, just to reiterate?
Sure. Market Woods is located off Jefferson Davis Highway, near where Route 1 or Jefferson meets Chippenham. And we are between, I would say, a mile from that Chippenham and Route 1 intersection in what it's called the Winchester Green Campus. Out up front, our property, we have Wells Fargo Bank, a Family Dollar, and then we have the market behind it. And Market Woods is right there behind that Family Dollar, which is where the bus station is at.
Okay. What is the next development for BHC Senior Communities? John, do you want to do that?
Sure. Right now, we're actually trying to literally and figuratively break new ground by going to the west end of Henrico. We are partnering with Christ Church Episcopal on Pouncey Tract and Gayton. Right now, our development is hovering somewhere between 120 to 190 new homes. It needs to go through a zoning process. Obviously, with working in the West End with affordable housing, the process will be, maybe longer and harder than most. But we got some great partners in the church and then in the community. But that is our next senior development. We're also, in the same spirit as Market Woods, looking to do something similar in the next couple of years at Carter Woods. There's some additional acreage behind Carter Woods that we've over the years tried to figure out how to develop, where we may in fact do again another 9-4. I'll say 9-4. That's my jargon coming out of me. But the competitive and non-competitive tax credits to develop new construction while rehabilitating and setting up for the long term. One of our flagship properties in Carter Woods.
Thank you. We have a question, another one for you, John. How do you work around a surprise manhole?
Sure. We had to pull it out in short. So, it was, we capped it, just outside, the limits of the building, and had to come in and pull it all out. And we never would have known what, unless we were, we came in and we were trying to build up the pad and compacting the soil, and it just kept, pumping water, so to speak, and would not compact. And So our construction materials tester, Froling and Robertson, said, hey, dig this down a little bit and let's see what's going on. And that's when we hit the manhole, something that you would never find by normal soil exploration, which only test in a precise point. So we were thankful we found it. That picture where we had the slab being poured, we could have gotten that far potentially. And then, who knows what would happen later if that was not discovered. So.
Andrea, this sounds like a question for you. Some of the seniors, you said the average age was around 70. Obviously, we have some younger seniors. Were some of the seniors affected by COVID-related job loss? I think that would be some of the younger unretired seniors. And how are we helping them?
Since I've been there, I started maybe 3 months ago, so I'm fairly new. Haven't been able to be at the office much, but just based off the phone calls and interacting with our current residents, I haven't heard of any who have been affected by COVID-related job loss. But we do have resources in place that would be able to assist our residents who are having difficulties with possibly paying their rent.
Okay, good. Someone asked who was the interior design team. The interior decorations are certainly gorgeous. I love all the paintings when we visited. And Megan answered that Design Source, so was the interior designer in case we didn't see that. The architect, someone asked earlier who was the architect too, and that was Wink Snowa. Let's see. We have time for about one more question, and we have, what was your biggest lesson learned? So let's go through the team, and maybe everyone on this new property can talk about lessons learned. Virginia, why don't you start?
Sure. So far, the leasing process with the COVID has been a very interesting one. This is the first one for all of us. And trying, as I mentioned before, trying to convince that resident that by watching a virtual tour, they could make the biggest decision of their life of moving out of the home they've been living for the last 40 years into a new apartment. That, I think, it has been the most difficult, and the lesson learned that we took out of it is that even though we think it's difficult, the virtual tour, like videos similar to the one we just watched that Simmons produced, and the one that we have in our leasing advertising, which was all produced by another partner of us, featuring what Market Woods is and has to offer. It is, I think it's the new normal, and people are getting more used to it as days go by. So again, it was a lesson there. We were very skeptical of how are we going to do this, but we have been blessed with the staff that we have at the property and been able to do it so well so far.
Great, thank you, Virginia. John, did you want to say what your biggest lesson learned on this development?
Sure. You learn most from when things aren't always the best, which certainly this COVID environment tested all of us. I could give a technical lesson learned, but that I can tell you that you can't do a vertical double check valve in place of a RPZ backflow in Chesterfield County, but those are the little technical things that you can't do. But for us on the development team, it can never be too soon or too much coordination, both internally and externally on these developments. We learned through early coordination with our development team, a lot of things that were going to save us money, time, and headache later that were fruitful. And then we've also learned, both through this COVID environment and just the handoff to property management in general, ways that we can get better so that as these residents do move in, we are fully operational and ready to go from day one. I say that the team has done a fantastic job, and we just want to do on our side of development the best job possible to set them up for success.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. And Andrea, I know since you're relatively new to BHC that you're learning lots of new lessons.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular that you would like to point out?
Yes, in regards to the community social work team, one thing that I have learned and we have discussed is around keeping our residents engaged, and as well as building a rapport with our new residents, brainstorming about how to continue to keep them informed, making sure that we have constant phone contact. I know, like I stated before, a lot of them are so used to seeing us in the office every day. So not having us there has definitely built some anxiety within our residents, but that phone contact, as well as the different times that we are in the office, continues to build that rapport, as well as, just letting our residents know we're still there. We're still there. We're not present physically, but we are still there to help you with all of your needs.
Great. Thank you, Andrea. And then Virginia, one really quick question for you before we switch to Greta. How many units do we have rented of the 60 so far?
We currently have 19 units rented. As we speak, we have about 20 applications in the pipeline. So if we do the 19 plus 20, we are 39. So just a few more left.
Great. Super. Well, thanks everyone for your questions. I'm going to turn it over for some closing remarks from our President and CEO, Greta Harris.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Stacy. I'm really coordinated. I have the same shirt on today as I do in the photo there. That was all planned.
Well done.
Man, this is fantastic. I am looking across the screens and see so many faces of friends and colleagues that have been toiling in the fields with us for many, many decades to try to make our community the best that it can be for all of our neighbors. And this is just a fantastic day. Even though the sun is shining, it's a beautiful fall day, and we would have loved to have been together in Chesterfield looking at this amazing new property. The current situation didn't allow us to come together, and I want to give mad props to our external affairs team for putting this innovative way of showcasing the work that we love doing on behalf of the RVA community. First and foremost, I just want to thank our amazing staff in all of the different departments, many of whom you heard from today. They are amazing in normal times and have been extraordinary, especially in this most unusual and strange 2020. I also see many of our current board members from our corporate board, from our young professionals board, and from our property management board. Whatever success that we have, we could not experience that without their amazing support. And then I see so many different partners that have been with us for, in some cases, many, many years, and some new partners. And together, we are able to make such a tremendous impact for our more modest income neighbors, and in this particular and latest development, for our modest income senior neighbors. I also want to give a special shout out to some of the former BHC associates. I see at least 5. I see Phil, I see Nina, Carol, Bob, and TK. And once you work at BHC, you never really leave, even though you may be sitting in other areas. And we just appreciate your support continued for advancing our mission. So normally when we get together and celebrate a new program or a new development that we're doing around the region, My job is to end everything on a high note and ask two things of the folks who are in attendance. One is to ask for your support to continue to generously donate to Better Housing Coalition so that we can continue to advance our mission of creating high quality, affordable communities across the region that have augmenting services that help our residents to be their best selves. And so if you are so inclined, as we're winding down the most unusual year, at least of my lifetime, before the end of the year, we would greatly appreciate your continued support. Many of you on this call have been exceptionally generous to our organization over the years, and we are grateful for that. The second call to action is to just not be quiet and to be active in advocating for more affordable housing throughout our community. This year has pulled back the curtain in many ways on the disparities that have existed for quite some time in our community and across our country and maybe even across our world. And to show that certain segments of our society have disparities in health, and disparities in economic mobility, and disparities in where and how you live. And many of those disparities are drawn along racial lines. And organizations like Better Housing Coalition are working really, really hard every day to lessen those disparities and create greater opportunity access for everyone. And as John mentioned, we are working on a very exciting new development, a senior development in the western end of Henrico County. We're also working on developments in Chester and in Midlothian. And while there is the greatest awareness right now that everyone needs a quality place to call home, especially while you're going through a global pandemic. And there is a lot of support for quality housing at an affordable price. Everyone is for it until it comes into your neighborhood. And then people have some real challenges with that. And so if you hear of a development that is going on in your community, don't be quiet. Please show up at the Planning Commission, show up at the Board of Supervisors or the City Council meetings, and stand with organizations like Better Housing Coalition and say, I'm supportive of this development happening in my community, because everyone needs a quality place to call home. And we would greatly appreciate that. Normally, those are the two calls to action: support BHC and be an advocate for affordable housing. In the year of 2020, we have one more request, and we just ask that you please vote. This is a critical year at the local, state, and federal level, and we need excellence in our public servants who are elected, because they are the only ones who can change policy and systems change to level the playing field of opportunity access for lots of different things, but especially for quality, affordable housing. So if you haven't registered, please do that. If you know of others who haven't registered, help them to do that. Voting has started and will be going on for the next month. And we just encourage everyone to fully utilize their American right to vote and help shape the future of our country so that we can move closer to the ideals on which we were founded. Thank you so much for spending an hour with us. We're super excited about this development. We have several more coming down the pike, and so maybe we'll be doing more of these in the upcoming months. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Please continue to be safe and well during these unusual times. Have a great day. Thank you.